Hey there, job seekers. Today we're going to talk about how Ask Steve can help you through the grind of finding a new job. So once you've installed Ask Steve, you'll get dropped on a page like this that has a number of skill packs that you can add. And we're going to install the Job Seeker Pack that will add these 10 skills and a couple of skill buttons for LinkedIn, which I'll show you. You can also, if you just want to see more details about the pack, you can do so just by opening it up. But we have it installed. And so now the way most of these skills work is on a job rec page. So my background, at least the last several years, has been product management. So we'll get product management jobs. So let's pop open the Ask Steve side panel and look at some of these skills that we have. We have 20 in here right now, 10 come out of the box, and you just add another 10 via the Job Seeker skill pack. So let's go through these in the order that you might use them. So the first one, it will be identify gaps in my resume. So we can actually take a look at the skill here. You're an expert career coach. Here's my resume. Here's the job listing. I want to optimize it, suggest other improvements, etc. So if I run this right now, what's going to happen is it's going to ask me for my resume because of this variable right here that says ask the user for something. And in this case, it's going to ask for my resume. So I can paste in my resume right there and say, okay. And then it's looking and it's finding the gaps in my resume for this particular job, which has to do with self-serve platforms, customer experiences, automation, and data analytics, which I don't really have a lot of experience in. So it's good that it pulled that out and then identified a number of improvements that I can make. Now, if I don't want to paste in my resume every time, I can just paste it directly into the skills. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to paste my resume right there, hit update. Now I can just run this anytime I want. And I can run this in a number of ways. I can run it the way I'm just looking at right now, or I pick the skill from the list and run it. I can run it from inside the chat panel. You can pull up the skill picker here by clicking and then start typing identify gaps in my resume and pick it. And then it just does it right there in chat. Another way, a shorthand way of getting to the skill picker is just by hitting space, and then it automatically pulls up the skill picker and I can pick whatever I want. And then the last way I can do this is right mouse click on any page and say ask Steve to, and in this case under personal and professional support, I have identify gaps in my resume and I get a response there. So a number of different ways that you can trigger this. You pick what's best for you. For today, we're just going to go through and do it all here in the skill list because it's just very easy to show you and find things. So I've identified the gaps in my resume. I now want to optimize my resume for this job. Once again, it's going to ask me for my resume unless I paste that in here. So I'm going to paste it in and then hit update, and then I'm going to run it. And it's going to say, okay, here are some things you can do to optimize your resume for this particular job. Incorporate some of the keywords, things like that. That's great. And then a lot of times they're asking these days for cover letters. So let's go find a cover letter. Again, it's going to ask me for my resume, so I'm going to paste that in right there so I don't have to paste it in every time and hit run. And now it's just generated a first draft cover letter for me that I can edit right here if I want to, and then go send or paste into like whatever form that they have online. Okay, so that's all pre-job. You've got you've got the application going. You've got your resume optimized. You've only picked the jobs where you don't have like very severe gaps in your resume. Now we got to prep for the interview. So there's a number of skills for doing that. The first one is generate job interview prep questions. So let's run that one. It's going to read the rec, and then it's going to generate a number of questions that I might get asked in the interview. So like, tell me about your experience leading product development for self-serve platforms. Then if there's a practice test I want to take on any particular topic, I can say generate a practice test. And so let's go run that one. And I need to name a skill or proficiency. So let's just say retail for now. And then it's going to ask me a bunch of questions and give me some scenarios and challenges to work through, which is good. Good practice to get ready for that interview. And now questions aren't always around the skill set of the topic. A lot of times they're behavioral interview questions as well. So it's going to ask me now some behavioral questions like you had to lead a team through a complex product launch, what are the challenges, etc. Also good types of questions to prepare on. And then this particular industry, like I might not know much about. So how do I get up to speed on that industry? I can ask Steve to help me understand the challenges and trends in that industry. I'll run that skill and it will tell me a number of the different things that are going on that I should be aware of so that I can speak intelligently about that industry. And then the final one in the interview prep is there's actually a chat skill here that I can run. And so let me bring up the pretend to interview me for this job skill. So it asked me that first question that it actually gave me on the prep list. So let me give it a quick answer, and now it's going to ask me for an example, and I can just go on and on. So Steve is basically being pretend interviewer for this job to give me some practice at these interactions and prepping my answers. And then there's 2 final skills for post the job interview, like because you've rocked it and now you want to send a follow-up email. So once again, I'm going to run, and it's going to use the job rec to write like a really nice email. I could also change the skill to use my resume if I wanted to make it more personalized. And then the last one is a little bit generic, but at least it's just a good reminder about how to negotiate a better compensation package. And so it pulls out the salary range from the rec, and then also just tells you the things that you should do in order to try to get a better comp package. Okay, so that's all the skills that are installed as part of the Job Seeker Skill Pack that hopefully can help you work through all these recs more quickly. And then we did install 2 skill buttons on LinkedIn. So if I'm on any LinkedIn profile page or job page, I can refresh here. We've got 2 Ask Steve buttons. One just does the identify resume gap skill, and the other one generates prep questions. So I can press this one, and it will tell me, okay, here are the gaps that you have in these various things. And I can hit this one, and it will tell me some questions based on this particular rec. And then I'll go down to this rec, and I can do the exact same thing. So very quickly, I can identify the gaps that are in my resume between what I have and what they're looking for. And then what I can also do now is also hit the example questions here and see like what kinds of things I might get asked. So with all that, hopefully these things can help make your job search more efficient and help you land a good role. So good luck. If this is helpful at all, please let us know in our support community, because we'd love to hear about it. And very excited to see how you use this and what you do with it. Thanks.